It finally happened. In the Pokemon anime, Ash Ketchum won a championship. After 25 years of not understanding type coverage, basic mechanics, or grinding out EVs for the meta, he's finally won. His biggest obstacle was, and has always been, himself and his own unfathomable stupidity. But with a lot of perseverance and a level 348 Pikachu, he's finally overcome the odds. And in my eyes, that's it. It's time for old Ash to be taken out behind the woodshed to have 2 slugs fired right between his dopey little eyes.
Oh no, I don't need a new gun.
Well, you do now. Metaphorically, anyway. Obviously, I don't advocate for the killing of Ash Ketchum, simply retirement. I think it's time for a new character to shine. Ash has been in the spotlight since the beginning, and I think his story has come to its reasonable end. I don't think there's a whole lot more they can do with the character. So obviously I'm aware that Pokemon as an anime is meant for little kids, and they recognize Ash, so they're not going to move off of him for that very reason. It's like the John Cena effect, but for an anime boy that wears a hat. But let's be honest with ourselves, the real star of the show here is Pikachu. And why would Pikachu be with anyone but Ash? Well, don't you worry, because I understand that and have accounted for it in this thing that I have put together. What you are about to witness is my pitch for a follow-up series to the current arc of Pokemon, a brand new series with a new character set in the same world. We start off somewhere in the Kanto region, my thought being Celadon City, since it's one of the bigger ones in the region, and I want the main character to be from the same region as Ash, but not a small town. He lives in a big apartment building with parents who work all the time at the Celadon City Mall. His name is Greg. So why Greg? Well, I know a lot of shitheads named Greg, and I think it's a great name for a main character who you want to see redeemed and grow as a person throughout the course of a series. Now, I must say, of course, that I do know plenty of Gregs who are good people. This isn't about them, and I know plenty of Gregs who are shitheads that are not deserving of any sort of redemption or growth whatsoever. This has nothing to do with them either. This is a completely separate Greg who is completely different from any Gregs that you may or may not be aware of. Greg is at home watching TV. He's enjoying watching the Pokemon battles from all over the world. It's late at night, but he's stayed up to watch the championship for the Kalos region. A 10-year-old boy named Ash Ketchum has just won his first tournament. Greg knows all about Ash, or at least he seems to think so. His understanding of Ash is pretty much just surface level. All he knows is that Ash is a boy from Kanto who went on a journey to become a Pokemon master and has just won a championship. Despite this, Greg idolizes Ash, and he determines that he is going to be the next Pokemon master. So he feels no time like the present, so he changes into some traveling attire, throws some things in his pockets, and sets out on his own Pokemon journey. But oh no, Greg does not have any Pokemon nor any Pokeballs with which to catch any. But he remembers he did just turn 10 a few days prior, and he has yet to receive a birthday present from his parents, who are currently working at the mall. Maybe their gift to him can be the start of his Pokemon journey. So Greg goes to the mall where he sees his parents working in the General Mart. He asks them for some Pokeballs, and when he explains what they're for, he is essentially laughed at. His parents say that he is not meant for a Pokemon journey, that he only wants to go on one not because it's his dream and not because he thinks it's something he'd be good at, but because he saw someone on TV do it. Greg persists, so his parents cut him a deal. They say they will give him 3 Pokeballs the following day. 3 chances, 3 opportunities to catch a Pokemon. If he manages to catch even a single one, then they will acquiesce and allow him to go on a Pokemon journey. Greg agrees to his parents' terms and heads back home. The following morning, Pokeballs in hand, he leaves his apartment and bumps into 2 people who also live there, a brother-sister duo. Their family lives next door to Greg, and like Greg, the siblings love Pokemon. The older sister has a pet Lillipup that she brought from their old home in Unova. Her name is Maria. She has no interest in collecting a team of Pokemon, as she likes giving her full attention to Lillipup. The younger brother's name is Kyle, and he is very timid. He does his best to appear brave to impress Greg, whom he looks up to, but it doesn't take much for him to lose his cool. Kyle and Maria wish to join Greg on his journey to catch Pokemon. It turns out Kyle is actually very knowledgeable about the surrounding area. Being an overly cautious person, he likes to know everything that he can about any situation before he enters it. As such, he has a very good idea of where Pokemon nests are likely to be. Maria, on the other hand, even though she cares exclusively for her Lillipup, knows a lot about how to treat Pokemon and care for them to get them out of hiding. This is knowledge that Greg doesn't have, nor does he particularly care that the others do. He's not really interested in companions. After all, his idol, Ash, didn't win a championship because of his companions, right? Why would Greg need something like that at his side? So he blows the siblings off and makes his way to the nearby Route 7, his thinking being it'll be lousy with Rattata and Pidgey. He's bound to get one, or possibly both, and surprise his parents. He is going to be a master after all. It only makes sense that he would catch 2, possibly even 3 Pokemon. So with unbridled confidence bordering on arrogance, Greg enters the tall grass of Route 7. Sure enough, there are a couple of Rattata resting in the tall grass. Greg takes one of the 3 Pokeballs and flings it at the first Rattata. It's not a very good throw, and the creature easily deflects the ball, sending it deep into the brush. The Pokemon then scurry away. Greg is upset by this, grumbling to himself as he crawls his way through the brush to retrieve his ball. As he claws at the various plants, he starts to hear a strange buzzing noise. He's reaching for his Pokeball when suddenly he freezes. He's all of a sudden face to face with the glowing red eyes of a Beedrill. Greg scurries away just as the frightened Rattata he just tried to catch did. In a panic, he doesn't see where he's going and he trips. Greg tumbles into a ravine and the Beedrill returns to its nest. Greg gets up, dusts himself off, and determines that the first ball is just a lost cause. Not a big problem as he still has 2 opportunities left. Or does he? Greg sees that the other 2 Pokeballs have been completely destroyed, broken in his fall. All 3 of his chances were dashed with just 1 throw. Dejected and with no further means to catch a Pokemon, Greg heads back into the city. Maria and Kyle see him as he walks away from Route 7 all roughed up and offer to patch him up. Too embarrassed to accept their help, he refuses and continues on his way to the mall to admit defeat to his parents. When Greg reaches the mall, he notices dumpsters in the alleyway behind the mall. He looks at the broken Pokeballs in his hands and walks over to the trash to discard them, but he hears something. He hesitates at first, but investigates. Something is hiding behind the trash. He looks behind the dumpster, expecting to see a Grimer or a Garbodor or other trash-loving Pokemon, but instead, he sees a Pikachu, its fur dirty and a notch in its tail. Sparks emit from the mouse Pokemon's red cheeks as a warning to keep Greg away. He laughs as he squats in front of it. "Look at you, little guy," he says, sticking his hand out. "Looks like you and I have had the same kind of day." The Pikachu inches forward to sniff his fingers, and it allows itself to be pet, accepting Greg as a fellow dirty creature. Greg is ecstatic as the Pikachu rushes up his arm to rest on his shoulder. Greg exclaims from his limited knowledge of Ash Ketchum that Pikachus never liked Pokeballs anyway, and he didn't even need one to catch his first Pokemon. He's just one step closer to becoming a master. He takes the Pikachu home, cleans it, and feeds it. When his parents return home, he smugly points to his new partner and says that it took everything he had to catch it, and he's gonna need some more Pokeballs. He knows he's going to need all of those Pokeballs to get the best team possible if he's going to challenge the hometown gym leader Erica and get his first badge as an official Pokemon League trainer. So that was my quick pitch for, I guess, what would be the first mini-sode of this Pokemon series. If you liked it, well, great. I have other ideas for it, and if you want to see them, post a comment and let me know that you want to see more. Honestly, I understand that this channel isn't exactly loaded with people, so it probably won't take too many people saying so for me to go ahead and do it anyway, but still, let me know. And of course, if you enjoyed it and you're new here, please do the things that will make the numbers go up. Like, comment, and subscribe. The links in the description will lead you to the stories I've done that aren't in pitch form, because I've already completed them. That's how that works. Thank you so much for watching. Support me if you can, love me if you must, and have a wonderful day.